Hi guys, hello and welcome to another Visual Basic programming tutorial. In this tutorial, we will learn how you can create a constructor in a Visual Basic class. In our previous tutorial, we learned how you can create a class in Visual Basic. Again, in today's tutorial, we will going to revise that, but our main focus would be how to create a constructor in a Visual Basic class. So to get started, I have created a Visual Basic Windows desktop console application, and I'm naming it Object-Oriented Programming 1. Once it gets created, I can simply add a class exactly the same way that I showed you in the last tutorial, that we right-click in the Solution Explorer and we add a new item, which could be a class, which is also listed out here. But if you click on the new item, you can also browse and choose class. Either way, it doesn't really matter how you pick it. The name of my class will be course. And as I click add, I will be able to see the class called course. So the first thing that we will learn over here is how to create a default constructor inside a class. To create a default constructor, the default constructor is a constructor that takes no parameter. So you can start out by using the word public, followed by the word sub, because it's a sub procedure, followed by the word new with only the parentheses open and close and not pass any parameters. This is an indicator that this is your default constructor. Then you can do certain things in your default constructor, whatever you prefer to do, but this is exactly how you can be declaring your default constructor. Just like you can have a default constructor, you can also create an overloaded constructor. An overloaded constructor means, or in other words, the word overloaded means two methods with the exact same name but the difference in parameters. So I could very well create something like this: public, sub, new, and then I can pass a parameter, for example, by ref or by val, it's my choice, course ID as integer. So now I have a default constructor, which is my first one, and an overloaded constructor, which is my second one. As we learned in our previous tutorial, that in Visual Basic, we have property of a class, and we also have a field of a class. So the field of a class is accessed through the property of a class. So a property is a member of a class that provides access to a field of a class. Properties define how fields will be set and retrieved. So you could name them same or you could name them different. However, the idea is that inside your property, you will have your accessors, which would allow you to access the value of your field, and you will also have your mutators, which would allow you to change the value of your field. So in this example also, we will declare property, and we will going to declare field, and then we will going to initialize the property through the constructor. Or we can change the value of a property through the constructor. The whole idea of the constructor of a class is that you need some initial point that when your object is first instantiated, you want your properties to be initialized with some values. And that's the whole point of a constructor, to give the initial value to the class properties. Those property values can change over the period of time by calling the respective mutators within the properties, which will change the fields of the class. So let's get started. So first of all, what I will do is I will declare the property. Before I declare the property, I need to declare the field of this class. So it will be a private field, private CRS ID as integer. So this will be the field. And nobody can access the field but the property, and everybody will have access to the property. So now let me declare the property. It will be public property I'm going to call this one course identification, and it will return a value of type integer. It'll be end property to close the block. And inside this, I will have a getter so that I could get the value of the field, and a setter to change the value of the field. So the field I am returning, so I have to write the name of the field right after the return statement. So anytime I call the property in the output statement or on the right-hand side of the equals, automatically the getter will going to be invoked. Anytime I use the property on the left-hand side of equals to, the setter will be invoked. So this is where I will assign my field a value, which is a built-in parameter of setter that holds the value that gets passed from the right-hand side of equals. Now let's go to the constructors. Now I have default constructor, which is the constructor which gets called if no parameters are passed, and I have an overloaded constructor. In our main, we're going to use both of them in the example as we move forward, but we will only be calling the property, so to access the field. So I will be setting the course identification to a value of 1001, and then the course identification to the value of course ID, which is the parameter that I'm passing. So in the default constructor, it will be set to a value 1001, and in the overloaded constructor, we are passing a value, and that value will decide what the course identification should be. Now inside the main method, I will declare an instance of course type by simply calling an instance CRS1 as new course. And what is an instance? Instance is a variable whose data type is a class. So here I could use no parentheses or use an empty one. It pretty much means that I'm calling the default constructor. Now I can console.writeLine, and I can simply display the value of the property called course identification. Now let's run this program, and you should be able to see the default value, which is 1001. Let me save the changes here before I run it. So now let me start. And as you can see, that a value of 1001 was displayed. Similarly, if I want to call the overloaded constructor, and I run it again, and now you should be able to see the overloaded value. So it's pretty much your call however you want to do it. You can call the default constructor, or you can call the overloaded constructor. You can also decide to change the value after the constructor gets called by simply saying CRS1.course identification equals to a different value. And then let's try to display this changed value as I run this the last time here for this example. And as you can see here in the output, the value before change and the value after change. Well, I'll catch you in the next tutorial with some more object-oriented examples with Visual Basic. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.